Awesome! Welcome to CNN 10. I'm your anchor, Carla Zeus. Today's news starts with a story hailing from Stockholm, Sweden.
On Friday, March 15th, an estimated 1.6 million students protested in over 120 countries worldwide, from the Americas, Africa, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Students skipped school to demand action in regards to climate change, led by 16-year-old Swedish environmentalist Greta Thunberg. Thunberg argues that politicians claim they are building a better world for the next generation, but in reality are too scared of being unpopular to reveal the truth about the situation. We are here in Stockholm, Sweden, speaking with Greta Thunberg. Greta, what makes you so passionate about climate change?
We have to fight for our future. The older generations want to leave us the mess we made.
Greta doesn't stand alone with her opinions. Thousands of students marched not just because they felt like it, but out of a sense of necessity. They marched to protect their futures and hopefully call out in a way that could not be ignored. Set Nozzlerack, CNN, Stockholm.
10-second trivia. Which of these cities is Sierra Leone's capital? Dhaka, Queensland, Freetown, or Zagreb? Freetown, the only African city located on this list, is Sierra Leone's capital. And that brings us to our second segment in the West African nation of Sierra Leone. Yurdua Leb has this story.
Thanks, Carla. I'm Yurdua Leb. On August 14th in Freetown, Sierra Leone, Sugarloaf Mountain collapsed. This occurred after the area experienced torrential rain. The mountain's collapse resulted in mudslides that trapped hundreds of people inside buildings. The estimate of dead or missing people after the mudslide occurred was initially around 300, but that number has risen to an estimated 1,000 people. We visited some of Freetown's residents to learn about their experiences in the aftermath of this catastrophic disaster, such as Tena Dembaya, a mother who lost her husband, her house, and her job in the mudslide.
I was upset but not shocked when the mudslide happened. I'm just grateful that my daughter and I are okay. Mommy! I should tell you about the area's history. Sugarloaf is a protected area. After the Civil War ended, though, deforestation became more common.
Sugarloaf has been part of the Western Area Forest Reserve for over a century. During Sierra Leone's 11-year-long civil war, which began in 1991 and ended in 2002, many people living in Sierra Leone's countryside fled to Freetown. This meant that people began residing in areas that had previously been part of the rainforest, and vegetation in protected areas was removed to make room for houses and other buildings.
These trees provided the city with protection in case of a natural disaster, like a mudslide. Their roots kept the mountain's dirt in place. If these trees had not been cut down, we would have been safe. There have been prior warnings of environmental disasters near Sugarloaf. The government did nothing because many influential politicians live in the area, not just poor people. And some of these politicians were partially responsible for the deforestation. It rained more in Freetown than usual this year, so a mudslide occurred.
Tena also lost her job as a teacher because of the mudslide. She and her daughter are currently renting a small shack across town and are living off the small amount of aid the government has provided them.
This is roughly where our house was. My daughter and I were out when the mudslide happened, but my husband was buried inside.
It was really scary. When we returned, we saw flooded houses. There were sinkholes opening in the ground. We tried to find my father, but when we came here, we saw the house was buried.
Our aid will run out after a year, so we are looking for a new place to live. We don't want to live in a camp. I pray that Katie and I will be okay.
Sierra Leonean government is still providing aid to residents, some of whom have yet to receive money they have been promised, and others who have not gotten as much money as they need. We'll continue following the story over the next few months. Yurdua Leb, CNN, Freetown.
Our next story is about an all-female refugee camp built entirely by women. This story will be taking us to the Middle Eastern country of Syria. I'm Aras Zelaznog, and we're here in the Syrian city of Jinwar.
We love it here in Jinwar. Many of our husbands were killed during the conflicts with ISIS, and that left us widows with a heavy social stigma. Here in Jinwar, it's just us women. Nobody judges.
In many Middle Eastern countries, women are looked down upon as inferior, and Syria is not an exception. That's why many women have banded together to form Jinwar, a safe city for women escaping physical and social abuse. Although Jinwar is a city of mud brick houses, it is governed in a very modern way. Jinwar is led by a council of women with a new leader each month.
Jinwar is also a safe place for children. Kids, both boys and girls, raised in the village have the right to an education. They also choose whether or not they wish to remain here for their entire lives.
Aras Zelaznog, CNN, Jinwar.
Our next segment takes us to Guatemala.
I'm Ana Lebla reporting from El Mirador in the Petén department of Guatemala. The Petén department is the northernmost state of Guatemala and contains remains from the ancient city of El Mirador. The metropolitan hub that served as a home for 250,000 people, but supported over 1 million during the height of the Mayan civilization, from 100 BC to 300 BCE. The city of El Mirador housed impressive temples, including La Danta. La Danta is the largest pyramid by volume in the world. The pyramid has a height of 230 feet compared to the Great Pyramid of Giza. However, the largest of the pyramids in Giza has a volume of about 92 million cubic feet, while La Danta has a volume of approximately 99 million cubic feet. Many have neglected La Danta in their consideration of the wonders of the ancient world, but from new research and preservation efforts from archaeologists like Carlos Morales Aguilar, La Danta and El Mirador's importance to society is beginning to be highlighted.
Hola, soy Carlos Morales.
I am Carlos Morales Aguilar. As an archaeologist associated with the Foundation for Anthropological and Environmental Studies here in Guatemala, I've had the opportunity to be involved in many major breakthroughs regarding La Danta. With my team, I have excavated parts of the Jaguar Paw Temple behind me. Every day, we discover new findings about this place, and I am overjoyed that more people are beginning to care about the restoration of this sacred city.
This is another side of La Danta temple made of white plaster, while others are made of stone. The La Danta temple has only been partly restored. Only the upper floors of the temple, visible from the forest ground, have been excavated. But with more public funding and continued interest, modern technologies can be used for education. Further acts of forest preservation in Guatemala can be achieved, and more discoveries concerning the elusive and advanced Mayan civilization can be made. Ana Leb, CNN, El Mirador.
CNN Travel is in the United Kingdom.
In May every year, over 3,000 people travel to Gloucestershire to watch contestants roll down a hill at a breakneck pace, chasing a wheel of cheese. The cheese rolling competition, titled Cheese Rolling and Wake, is an annual event where racers compete to win the rolled cheese. The race is fun, but dangerous. Racers frequently get injured rolling down the hill, and in 2013, the cheese was replaced with a foam replica to avoid bystanders getting hurt. If you're competitive in a cheese kind of way, do yourself a favor and come to the UK.
So while the winner doesn't get any cheddar, some would argue this prize is better. Whatever the motive, it must be matzo really fun, or there wouldn't be such a good a turnout every year. I hope you aren't fed up with these cheesy puns. I'm Carla Azus, and we'll bring you next time.